What if the greatest opportunities in your life aren't found on a visible path, but on an unseen bridge? Join me as I share how unwavering faith transformed impossible situations into open doors, proving that some of the most profound impacts come from believing in what you can't yet see. I used to believe opportunities only came from what I could physically see and grasp. But then, something incredible happened. This video isn't just my story. It's a testament to how an unseen force can open doors you never knew existed, leading to profound transformations and pathways you never thought possible. Forget what you think you know about how opportunities are created. What if I told you the most impactful doors in my life weren't opened by networking or traditional pathways, but by something entirely intangible? Prepare to challenge your perspective as we uncover the incredible power of belief to build bridges where you thought there were only walls. Let me take you back to a time when I felt truly lost, standing before what looked like an impenetrable wall. I had poured years of my life into building a small creative business, convinced it was my calling. But after an unexpected economic downturn combined with a major client loss, everything began to crumble. My finances were in ruins, and the prospects of recovery seemed non-existent. Every logical calculation told me to give up. Friends and family with good intentions advised me to cut my losses, get a real job. I remember late nights staring at the ceiling, feeling an overwhelming sense of helplessness. The door to my dream wasn't just closed. It felt like it had vanished, leaving behind only solid rock. Doubt became my constant companion, whispering reasons why I wasn't good enough, why it was foolish to even try. It was in that deep valley that I first encountered the idea of unseen bridges, pathways that weren't immediately visible, solutions that defied conventional logic. It felt like the disciples in the Gospel of Matthew, caught in a sudden storm on the Sea of Galilee. They were experienced fishermen, yet the natural world had them trapped. They knew the rules of the sea, and those rules said they were lost. But then Jesus appeared, walking on the water, defying every logical law of physics. The unseen bridge was literally beneath his feet. But how do you step onto a bridge you can't even see? It was a Sunday morning, and I was feeling particularly defeated. The sermon that day was about faith, not as a blind hope, but as a conviction in things not seen. The scripture echoed in my mind, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." Hebrews 11:1. It wasn't a sudden, miraculous flash, but a quiet, internal shift. I decided right then that I would lean into faith despite every rational argument against it. I had nothing left to lose. This is the moment Peter stepped out of the boat. The water was rough, the boat was safe, and every instinct screamed danger. But Peter took a single step onto the wave, not because he saw a clear path, but because he saw the one who called him. That moment of conviction, that first step, is the most powerful step you will ever take. My first action, seemingly insignificant at the time, was to spend just an hour each day brainstorming new, unconventional ideas for my business. I committed to the words of Jesus, "If you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you." Matthew 17:20. One afternoon, I had an idea. What if I offered my creative services pro bono to a local nonprofit I deeply admired, just to build a new portfolio and perhaps gain some referrals? It felt counterintuitive, like giving away what little I had left. But something urged me forward. I sent the email, not expecting a reply. To my surprise, they not only responded, but were thrilled. This small act, driven by an almost irrational belief, began to subtly change the landscape. It wasn't about the money. It was about momentum, about believing a path could exist, even if I couldn't yet see it clearly. Each hour I spent creating for them felt like a step onto that unseen bridge, strengthening it just a little. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. The work I did for the nonprofit caught the eye of one of their board members, who happened to be a CEO of a much larger, well-established company. Impressed by my dedication and creativity, even when not paid, they reached out. They didn't just offer me a small project. They offered a major contract that not only saved my business, but propelled it to a level I had only dreamed of. I went from facing imminent failure and a closed-off future to thriving, all because of an initial step taken in faith on an unseen bridge. The contrast between that moment of despair, standing before a wall, and the reality I now live in is staggering. It wasn't about clever networking or a perfect resume. It was about believing in a possibility beyond what my eyes could see. Peter walked on water until he took his eyes off Jesus and looked at the storm. He sank not because the water couldn't hold him, but because his conviction faltered. My own journey showed me that the moment I chose to keep my focus on my purpose, my calling, the invisible structure beneath my feet remained solid. This journey transformed me. I learned resilience not just through struggle, but through faith. My optimism isn't naive. It's rooted in the profound understanding that there are forces and pathways beyond our immediate comprehension. As Paul tells us, we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. My understanding of possibility has expanded infinitely. I now know that some of the greatest doors aren't built on solid ground, but on the invisible foundation of belief. So how can you begin to identify and forge your own unseen bridges? It starts with introspection. Where do you feel stuck? What seems like an impossible situation in your professional life, your relationships, or your personal growth? Instead of looking for the next logical step, ask yourself, what would I do if I knew there was a way, even if I couldn't see it? What small faith-driven action can I take today that feels right in my heart, even if my head says it's foolish? It might be reaching out to someone you admire, offering a kindness without expectation, or dedicating time to a passion that feels financially impractical right now. Remember, faith isn't about seeing the whole staircase. It's about taking the first step. Think of Peter. The distance between the boat and Jesus was the unseen bridge. The moment he moved, the path was created. Take comfort in the promise found in Philippians. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Lean into that strength. And often, those seemingly closed doors in our lives are simply invitations to step onto an unseen bridge, leading us to the most extraordinary opportunities and transformations we could ever imagine. Believe in what you can't yet see, and watch as impossible doors begin to open before you.